Hi, it's Mark. I'm here with Bernie Pawlik, Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver, BC, Canada, Vancouver's best auto service experience. And we're talking cars. How you doing, Bernie?
Doing very well.
So today's guest, we have a 2015 BMW 428i. What was going on with this vehicle?
Yeah, this is a 428i hardtop convertible too, so it's an extra nice model. So this vehicle came to our shop with horrific noises coming from the engine, just happened suddenly. It was kind of, surprising too, because the vehicle had been in for service a couple of weeks before. We did an oil change, did everything, but something in the engine let go and was making just horrific noises. But it was like screeching, rattling, banging, and it was the kind of thing where we didn't run it for more than a few seconds just to get it into the shop and back out the door. And customer made up their mind they wanted to fix the car, so we carefully drove it back in before it blew up. So it was that bad. Horrible noises.
And so, where'd you begin the diagnosis?
Well, obviously, with noises like that, we check the externals like the belts, the accessories, make sure there's nothing like that. But it was pretty clear by the sound of it, there was something in the engine inside internally that had gone wrong. We did pull the engine oil filter out. This is a canister filter. So you can actually take the filter out and look at it. So we looked at it, you can see metal filings in there. So it's like, okay, this thing's done. Timing chain failures happen on these vehicles, especially the timing chain guides will let go and cause all sorts of clattering and rattling. We figured that was probably the case, with this engine, that something like that had happened. And the best option cost wise was to get a good used engine, which is what we did.
So that seems kind of drastic. Like, couldn't you just change the timing chain if that was the issue?
Well, the interesting thing is at the end of the day, it wasn't the issue. I mean, we didn't completely disassemble the engine, but we had to change the oil pan from our existing engine to the used engine. The used engine was actually from an all-wheel drive model, and this vehicle is a rear-wheel drive model, so the oil pan is different. We took the oil pan off. I expected to see a bunch of bits of plastic and all sorts of things in there, which we've seen on other BMW engine failures. None. It was actually fine. So our theory of being the timing chain and guides was not correct. But it doesn't really matter because the oil pan was filled full of metal filings. We didn't disassemble the engine any further because the auto wrecker wanted it back. So we'll just send it back like it is. But it's clearly something inside the engine, major failure, maybe engine bearings or something along that line went.
All right, here's our 428i. Beautiful looking vehicle, still in great
Absolutely.
shape, but not so healthy on the inside.
Nope. Well, it is now because it's been fixed.
So, what's this?
So this is the engine oil pan removed. The oil's been drained out, but there's always some residual oil. And what you would see on a good, healthy engine is that sort of maybe darker brown color.
This more like in here,
Yeah, just like
perhaps.
that. That's what you expect to see. But all that other shiny stuff, that's all metal
It's
filing.
gold.
Yeah, it's gold. Yeah, it actually looks like you're panning for gold, but in this case, it's not. It's gold panning out of your bank account.
It's cheap gold, but it's actually very expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So there's something seriously that's gone wrong with this engine. And interesting, I think it failed kind of in a hurry and who knows, sometimes this happens and you can't predict it even with good maintenance. But what I will say is the owner of this car was not the original owner, and BMW has these ridiculously long service intervals where somewhere like 24,000 kilometers between oil changes. Well, when you go that long, you can often be doing slow, subtle damage to an engine. And then at some point, the chickens come home to roost. Is that the right word?
Yep, absolutely. Do you remember the
Well,
kilometer
it's actually
readings?
low. It's only just over 100. So it's
Wow.
not high. Yeah, not high. So, it's the thing with the used cars, you never know what you're buying. And, it may have had really good maintenance and something just happened to. Sometimes you just never know.
Yeah, Bearing decides it's done and that's it.
Yeah, I know someone who bought a new GMC truck recently and, Duramax, they're the most bulletproof engines, 500,000 kilometers, still keep going. The thing had 1,000 kilometers driving down the road, the engine started knocking, it was done. So sometimes stuff happens. Fortunately, that one was under warranty.
So how was the new engine or the used new engine to this vehicle? How did everything run after that?
Yeah, it was great. Ran really well. And the actual auto wrecker, the supplier we get these used engines from, they actually put new timing chains and guides in them. So they do that whole job to make sure it's all good because that is a failure item on BMW four cylinders, especially specifically. So it's good to make sure the timing chain is done. Otherwise, you might be putting in a used engine and something else will happen. And that's kind of the most common failure. Otherwise, they're generally pretty good. Not sure what happened with this one.
Not an inexpensive repair.
No, it's not. Now, if you went for with a new engine, it'd be way more money than what this one would be.
Almost up there with the new car.
Yeah, probably. This car's still got a lot of value for the age. It's still worth a lot of money. So, sometimes the engine fails in a car, you go, okay, it's done. It's not worth the money. But this car, absolutely.
If you're looking for service for your BMW in Vancouver, BC, Canada, the people to see are at Pawlik Automotive. You can reach them online at pawlikautomotive.com. We have hundreds of videos there, repairs on all makes of models over the last 13 years. Even ChatGTP says we're the experts. And God, they can't be wrong. And of course, you can book your appointment right there online at pawlikautomotive.com, or you can call them at 604-327-7112 to book your appointment. You have to book ahead. They're always busy. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Thanks, Bernie.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for watching and listening.